What's the secret to getting YouTube to promoting your videos and putting them in the suggested video column?
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. We talk a lot about search, but I know how to get you in the suggested videos.
You're going to want to stick around. We've all been there. We put a video on YouTube, we post it up there, and we know almost instinctively, intuitively, that it's going to be buried down 17 pages worth of search terms in YouTube alone, not to mention the whole Google universe. But specifically speaking of YouTube, how do you get it so that you show up in the recommended video? That always seems like it's big finance guys, it's the big companies, people who have all kinds of money to burn. But there must be a way, because you do it. How are you getting your videos?
Yeah. So we'll talk about the distinction, and I'll talk about both ways. You can show up in search, but you can show up in the suggested videos.
That's what I meant, the suggested videos, yeah.
So again, suggested videos, you're watching a video right here, and then along the side, there's all these suggested or recommendations of the videos you should watch next. How do you show up there?
Right.
So let's talk about search first, because if you focus on that strategy, that'll actually help you show up here. So I have an AMPed strategy. That's my acronym. AMPed is the result: automatic, magnetic, and perpetual. Okay? So if you follow, and I have videos that go a whole video just on this strategy if you want to go into more depth, but I'll summarize it here. You want your videos to be marketed to your target audience automatically. It'll magnetically attract the people that are looking to buy your services, and that will perpetually continue to work. They're not going to fade off and go into the darkness. They're going to continue. Years from now, people are still going to be watching these videos. So that's the result that you want. And to get those three results of AMPed, you need three ingredients. So you want your videos to be searchable, you want your videos to be specific, and you want to have your videos be engaging. Okay? So searchable, we talked a lot about. Keyword research, how to get your videos to rank on YouTube. Watch the other video.
It's another video.
We'll link to it up right there.
Yeah, there it is.
So you know how to make your videos searchable, and we've also talked about it as specific. Okay, your video, you want a longer title that's a lot more specific. And then you want your videos to be engaging. Okay, now engaging, you can actually track that. I mean, you can say, yeah, I've got to be entertaining, I've got to be lively in my video, but you can actually go into the YouTube analytics and you can check to see when are people dropping off.
Right, okay. The retention of their viewership.
So that's the retention rate. So let me just finish the search portion of this by saying that if you follow those three ingredients, that's what you do to get those AMPed results, which means that's what you do to show up in search. And we have another video on how to get ranked within 24 hours. So if you do that, and then you have a high retention rate, then here's all you have to do. You have to have daily videos for 4 months.
Every video every day for 4 straight months. Now, does that include weekends?
I call 5 videos a week or more daily.
Okay.
So 5 or more videos per week daily for 4 months.
So 20 videos a month for 4 months.
Right. And there's people that have done 20 videos a month for 4 months and not gotten those results.
And why is that?
It's because they don't create the videos with the AMP strategy, and they have a bad retention rate. So you want a retention rate of 50% or higher, 45% or higher. Meaning, if you've got we'll just say 10 minutes, it makes the math easy.
They've made it at least 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, so on average, people are watching 4.5 minutes of your 10-minute video. And so if people are dropping off at 2, some people are dropping off at 6, you want your average to come in at 45% or higher, and then you do that for 4 months. Then YouTube will start to show your videos in the suggested videos on the side, and you'll start to have a video. And that YouTube usually just picks one video at a time. They'll just, we're going to take this video, it's one of your better performing videos, we're going to start suggesting this to people that are watching other channels, and you'll just start to see that video spike.
Now, is that number and the length of time, is that something that you've extrapolated yourself from your own experiences, or is it something you've dug around and found? Facebook or YouTube at 45% retention for 4 straight months, they'll start making you a suggested
Great
video.
question.
Where does that come from?
So it happened on my channel the first time, and it was on 4 months to the day. And I thought, this is kind of interesting. And we had a spike, and followed by another big spike and a huge spike. things started going crazy. And so then I was talking to Daryl Leaves. Many of you know he's a great YouTube guru. And he said, yeah, that's actually pretty common. Something in the YouTube algorithm, magic happens around the 100-day to 4-month mark. I started, tracking those stats on other channels, and we had another channel do that, and it was a little bit shy, about 3.5 months, that exact thing happened.
So now, is that happening because at the 4-month mark they're putting it as a suggested video? In other words, is it an if A then B? And I guess what I'm hearing is the minute it becomes a suggested video, that's when the peaks occur.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a native thing to it being out there for 4 months that suddenly all these people are watching it.
YouTube must have something in their algorithm that requires consistency, that wants to make sure you're in it for the long haul or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've gone daily for 4 months, that's a pretty long track record. YouTube wants to promote channels that are going to continue creating content long term. I mean, they'll say stuff like that, and you just kind of have to, okay, that makes sense of why this is happening.
Yeah.
Then. So, because there's plenty of channels that will have a strong strategy. They'll go daily, 30 days, of videos, and then you never hear from them again. So maybe the algorithm is set at 4 months for that reason, because, okay, that's a bit longer. We could expect that they're going to continue. That's just an assumption. That's just a guess there. But it really has worked. So we had another channel. We followed the exact formula. It was getting a good retention rate. And man, that channel's taken off, but it didn't happen until we got, in that case, it was 3.5 months. Now I will say that I have another channel that we did follow that strategy, but we've had a struggle with the retention rate. We were down around, I think it was a 19% retention rate. Just the topics weren't engaging enough. People were really dropping off, and we got to the 4-month mark, and we haven't seen it take off. We've really been focusing on making the videos a lot more engaging, keeping people entertained longer, and we've seen some improvements there. And so, yeah, we're going to see.
Is it possible then that if you do a shorter length video and you have to get 45% retention, that may work in your favor? Because 45% of 3 minutes is only 1.5 minutes.
I would assume
not that
so,
it takes
but I
the
don't
place
know.
of engaging.
See,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, you still got to have something that makes people want to watch it.
I can talk
Because 1.5 minutes of nonsense, no one's going to stick around for.
Well, I can talk confidently about what I've experienced, and I haven't done a whole lot of shorter videos like that.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to do some. We're going to test it out and see how it works.
We'll let you know.
But in the realm of average length, 7 to 10 to 12-minute videos, this is what I know works. Yeah. And I also know that YouTube outwardly says you'll get better results when you make videos between 7 and 16 minutes. So that's what YouTube. They say that. And they say that they like watch time, and so the more time people are spending on your videos,
time as opposed to
time on your channel,
Mm-hmm.
So watch time is a big indicator, but retention rate is just something that I think that's kind of a natural way to check and see, do people like my content, and if people are up at 80%, you've got an awesome channel. I've been seeing great results for anything 45% or higher.
Well, that's cool. It's good to know. Good stuff. And what I think how it would translate to anyone watching, and in particularly to me and other people like me, is that if I have to do that, and I do, if that's what I really am shooting for, knowing that there's someone like you that exists that offers those services, if I may, for a moment, take the liberty of saying that. I mean, I could try to do what you're doing myself for 4 months and do 20 videos a month. Every day there's a video, blah, blah, blah. But how many people are really in that position to persistently and every day diligently and have these things going out and have it be compelling and engaging and magnetic?
That's why people value my services. And my approach is I love to be efficient. And so that's why we film 20 episodes in a day. My record with a client is 37 episodes in one day. It's because it's a lot of work to create 20 or 30 episodes every single month.
Yeah.
But if you can film it all in a day and have your entire filming done for that month, so there's lots of ways that I work.
But those guys
to
that
be
you
efficient.
did 37 with, you can tell just between us.
That wasn't our first time filming.
Yeah, but they do drugs, right?
They're actually no. They were very exhausted by the end of the day. But
somebody's got to be bringing the Coke. That's all I'm saying. I mean the Coca-Cola. Stop it. You're evil.
All right, we'll close it
All
out.
right, close it up.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. It really is that simple. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a lot of work. It's hard work, but the strategy, the things you got to do to get there, it really is that simple.
The fact that he's been able to break it down to a pretty understandable and digestible formula is really important.